You need to watch this a little bit. Well, just watch this a little bit.
Why Nigerians are busy preaching peace all over Africa, all over internet. They are busy unaliving our own people in South Africa.
We need to talk about this girl. This South Africa girl, when he traveled to Nigeria on the 17th of December, 5 days after, she turned RIP.
All over the world. This is what they're doing. He does not even know when is his birthday. Old men like this. Why?
Hi, my lovely South Africans, Kenyans, Nigerians, in fact, all citizens from different countries cut across Africa. Welcome to another episode on Saying It Just the Way It Is, right here with Life of an African Woman who is taking countries in West Africa down to Africa and Africa to the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to see what we have going on here for today. But first off, I need to put some certain things down so that we will be on the same page. I will start by appreciating all your constant love and support, your comments and all whatnot. I see them all, and I will say for you to be a part of this family, it means that you are standing for nothing but the truth and you represent truth and light. Like I will always say, guys, in life, no matter what happens, no matter what you do, always stand out for nothing but the truth, because it is only the truth that will set you free. If there's one principle I hold very dear to my heart, that's principle of living in my truth is one thing I'm definitely going to die with. That is one thing that my late father taught me and taught me well, right? And that is one thing that distinguishes me from every other Nigerian. And there are so many other Nigerians like me cut across the world that always stand and speak up for the truth, right? We can see that on the social media space, that in most situations and experience that is ongoing, especially in the controversial issues, most Nigerians do come out to talk and talk based on fact and truth. And like I said, not everybody will align to the truth. So it is definitely okay. It is totally fine. Guys, permit me for today, secondly, because I needed to do these voiceovers as a result of my stringent and tight schedules. Yes, if I say I should wait until I begin to set up and film, you guys are not going to see me here every single day, right? But I promise that ordinarily this channel was scheduled for 2 times a week. Now I am making it 3 times a week, and I'm planning on making it even more than 3 times. So bear with me. My goal is to be more consistent here and bringing out issues that are pressing, eating us deep as wound and injury in our body as citizens of West Africa down to Africa. There are so many things, like I've always told us, that are our problems and our challenges. So in this episode, I'm definitely going to be playing a rundown of some videos that I have compiled, cut across different platforms of the social media, that I think is worth dialoguing, is worth talking, and is worth giving our honest opinion, honest truth, and objective, constructively and respectfully. I would love us to watch these videos, play and listen attentively, pay attention to details. Then I will come back to summarize. So I oblige you kindly watch patiently to the end and wait for me to tell you at the end of the day what I think I want to see.
You need to watch this a little bit. Well, just watch this a little bit.
Why Nigerians are busy preaching peace all over Africa, all over internet. They are busy unaliving our own people in South Africa. Now this guy here, out of jealousy, some group of South Africa unalive this guy for no reason. This guy has his own business he's doing. This guy is a good guy living in South Africa. He has a genuine business that he's doing. But the only problem, the crime that this guy have committed is that he's doing better than black South Africa. This guy have a car, this guy have a good...
You know, this guy, I don't know what he calls himself though. First off, I need to establish something here. Let's first establish something. I don't advise or propagate murder. I don't advise or propagate murder. I don't. I'd rather infer you with irritation than commit murder. I'd rather infer you with irritation than unalive you or do anything inimical. Do you understand? But here's something I want to point out. You see this guy, when he talks, you know that he is irrational and mentally deformed, a degenerate. When he talks, I don't know how many people are able to see such. And one of the things you have to understand is that, let me establish this. This is criminology. Learn from this. A criminal can never condemn criminal acts. A kingdom that is divided against itself cannot stand. A criminal cannot condemn criminal acts. So listen, for South Africans that show surprises on how Nigerians defend criminality, stop showing surprises. An average Nigerian cannot condemn criminality because a criminal cannot castigate criminality. A criminal would always build irrelevant excuses for criminality. When he came and said that this guy does honest something, listen, I laughed so hard when I saw this. Looking at this guy alone will tell you that this guy can never, ever lean towards anything that is legal. Looking at the guy he so showed would prove beyond every, just looking at him, I don't want to know anything about him. Just looking at him, I can stand and defend it with facts and figures, and I'll beg anybody to prove me otherwise. That this guy, you see this guy he showed right now, that guy is a criminal. That guy is into all forms of criminal activities. And that, while I do not compensate, while I do not advise murder, unaliving anybody, listen, I'll still say that it is this guy's activity that propagated as to why South Africans did what they did. But Nigerians are so quick to simply say, we are envied because we're doing, see, let me tell you, anybody that is rational would feel irritated at Nigerians. I'm telling you, it takes only a person with a criminal ability. Go and check people in the United States and every part of the world. Go and check them. That will tell you, oh, I love Nigerians. Go and check them. You go and check all of them. I have done my research on them. If they are women, you see that they are fans only. Hookers, prostitutes. They are the ones that will tell you. Like, in fact, there's a video on that. I could wish I would see such video, and I'll post it to you people. She said, I like money. Gold diggers, girls with criminal tendencies are the ones that can only infer to Nigerians. You would never, let me tell you, you will never see a girl, probably that is a lawyer, in any other part of the country. You will never see a girl who is probably a doctor. You will never see a girl who is an engineer in any other part of the country. You will never see a girl in any of those professional courses, or that is highly academic, or that is into any civil thing, that will tell you, I actually lean towards Nigerians. No, you will never. You will never see a man on that note, a man that is civil, that will tell you Nigerians are cool. No, they will never tell you that. I bet you. Find one and show me. I dare you people, bring one and show me. Bring one and show me. You can't find. You cannot. You cannot. You will never. See, let me tell you. When you hear some white people say, oh, Nigerians are really smart, you should understand what they mean. Nigerians are really smart. Nigerians are really... When I installed these things about 12 years ago, that Nigerians are only workable when they are subdued. Nigerians are only workable when they are subdued. That is why, irrespective of everything Okonjo-Iweala did, she could not become the World Bank president. It's not possible. It's not. They gave that to Kim. It's not possible. Why? Because no matter any Nigerian's academic prowess, there is always criminality within them. There is always criminality. Now, the only Nigerians, when you see Nigerians that are thorough and true, whenever they are given appointments in Nigeria, you know what they do? They will resign and leave. Someone like Bartonaj, go and check Professor Bartonaj. He had to resign and left Nigeria. Why? Because he cannot. He finds it irritating to mingle with criminals. He came to Nigeria, wanted to help, and saw that surrounding him are all criminals. Surrounding him are all criminals. So I'm telling you today that go and check them. If you think I'm lying, go and check those people. Those people, wayside ladies, hookers, prostitutes. These ones are just criminals. They are men. The men that will come out and say Nigerians are actually cool. These are people that don't want to take anything seriously in their lives. People that want to vibe. People that function in the lowest level of their frequency. Eat, sleep with girls. Eat, sleep with girls, repeat. Eat, sleep with girls, repeat. Find money. Eat, sleep with girls, repeat. That's all they do. That is all they do. Do you get the situation? So I'll tell you for sure that anybody that is in his right frame of mind can never lean towards Nigeria. I dare people. I'm not saying what I don't know. You see, when I put two and two together, without even seeing it, I'm so sure of it more than people that even saw things. And then you'll see videos popping out to vindicate exactly what I've been saying. How many times does it happen? Do you understand the situation? So let's forget all this. This guy, just looking at him, would prove beyond every reasonable doubt that this one is a criminal. This one, many of them. You see, when Nigerians leave Nigeria, they go out to make money. They don't go out to mingle. They don't go out to think. They don't go out to live a peaceful. They go out to make money, come back and start showing off in Nigeria. So they go out with criminal intention straight.
We need to talk about this girl. This South Africa girl, when he traveled to Nigeria on the 17th of December, 5 days after, she turned RIP. And the rumor when he did all everywhere now, people they claim now say, this girl so, they don't buy her to do money ritual. Don't forget, yesterday, I just talked about Julius, a guy in Cape Town, where South Africa people buy with block, hit her for head until he buy. guys. So something is actually going on right now. This whole crazy stuff has to stop.
In the past 10 years, Glasgow has become a hotspot for migrants. A recent report found at least 70 different nationalities now living in the city. Not all of these newcomers are here legally. The UK Border Agency has enforcement teams who seek out immigration offenders and remove them from Britain. But their job is made harder by a racket in forged documentation worth millions, helping illegal immigrants to hide under false identities.
Hi there, can you open the door, please? Just on the mic behind it. Hi there, it's immigration. Can you open the door, please?
Immigration officer Kerry McVeigh and her team are at the address of a man they believe has overstayed his visa by more than a year.
Sir, I can't see you standing there. Open the door now. We have a warrant to enter the premises, so if you don't open the door, we will force it.
The target today is a man named John Moses.
Hi there.
Thanks, immigration. If you swear, can I open it, please?
Have a chat with you, okay? Is there anyone else on the premises?
Sorry?
Okay, what's your name, sir?
My name is Olatunde.
Olatunde.
Olatunde Ishola.
And your date of birth?
26. 26 of
The 26th of what? What month? You're not giving me a date of birth. Can you sit down for me?
You sit down.
I just want to tell you.
Who's that person? That's Mr. John Moses.
That's my uncle.
That's your uncle?
Yeah.
And where is your uncle at the moment?
He's not around. I mean, he's not around.
He's not around. Are you sure it's not you?
No, it's my uncle.
Is this your passport?
It's not my passport.
It has your picture in it.
It's not me.
That is your picture.
It's not my picture. That is not my passport. I'm not the one inside. I'm not the one stuff like that.
Can I just maybe point out that you do have a marking on your face, which is also present in this picture?
It's not me. It's not me. It's not me.
Right, you're making it worse for yourself, but we'll carry this on at the police station, okay? You're making it a lot worse. By sitting lying to me, you're making it worse. All right?
I'm not lying to you.
You are lying to me, okay?
Why I lie? I'm not lying to you.
You're telling me that's not your picture when I can see that it is. I know you don't come from South Africa, but you're in possession. You're in possession of a South African passport, and I need to know why you've got it. Okay? All right.
The Nigerian man was sentenced to 4 months in prison for possession of a forged document.
He does not even know his date of birth. This can only be Nigerian, nobody else in the world. Old man like that. Because why? He's using so many identity. He does not even remember his own birth date. They are using multiple fake IDs. And they come to our country and use our identity, and we must keep quiet. These criminals, they call themselves hardworking people. They are criminals all over the world. This is what they're doing. He does not even know when is his birthday. Old men like this. Why? They said they were looking for John Moses. Now he's using a different name. These are Nigerians that are destroying Africa. These are the same shameless Nigerians that are destroying the image of Africa. The image of Africa has been tarnished by Nigerians. The image of Africa is being tarnished by these Nigerians. And we must sit here and say nothing. When the image of Africa, and I don't know when the rest of Africa will wake up that these people are criminals. I don't know when is the rest of Africa they're gonna wake up to realize, or they just don't want to speak. You must speak and defend this continent of Africa, because one nation that is destroying Africa, it is Nigeria. Nigeria is not supposed to be part of African countries. And I can see some of them are going to Ghana to destroy Ghana. Because let me tell you, as we speak now, we don't even know who is a Ghanaian and who's a Nigerian. That's the honest truth, because they're floating Nigeria, Ghana, and doing things and saying things. They're busy going around destroying the image of Ghana. I can tell you even now, there's some people that I thought they were Nigerians, but they're claiming to be Ghanaians. So Ghanaians need to come and speak, because these people are destroying the image of Ghana. Sooner or later, we will be seeing them as Ghanaian, because you cannot keep quiet and let them destroy the image of Ghana. But this is not about Ghana, because I know the majority of Ghanaian people are not like these Nigerian people. But I'm telling you right now, they're destroying the image of your country. So you need to speak out and defend your country. There's another idiot who she's claiming to be, she's a Ghanaian, who's defending Chidima. But today it's not about Chidima. I want to expose these people who are using our identity. That's why we need to chase every Nigerian in our country, guys. Enough is enough. When are we going to say enough is enough?
So guys, you see, in all these videos that we have watched, definitely love to say something. So I want you to listen and listen with all manner of love and concern, because anything that happens and it involves Nigeria affects not just the individuals responsible for such actions, but definitely will affect every citizen of Nigeria. You see, most people, both Nigerians and non-Nigerians, would not understand the pain of a true Nigerian who feels so pained, who feels so bitter about the actions and inactions of citizens of Nigeria. And that's why most times I tell my fellow Nigerians, see, don't blame other nations, don't blame other countries for treating and acting a certain way towards you the way they do. But it's unfortunate that most times, in most cases, the innocent ones are the ones who bears the pain, the shame, the embarrassment, the humiliation, and everything that has to do with any crime, anything done in a negative way that a Nigerian does. And in a nutshell, if you do not have a conscience, if you do not have that human feeling, if you do not have that sense of rationality, if you do not have that sense reasoning, understanding that life is not the way you see it, life is not the way you think, life is not the way it's being measured. I want you to get to the top, wanting to succeed by bringing others down and by staining your hands. See, this is my Nigerian brother from another mother. He's one guy that I love and respect so much. His sense of reasoning, his opinion and perception towards critical and logical issues, especially the controversial issues. He gives his honest and blunt opinion. Make it make sense that you want to explain, you want to defend a cause, and you do not come out on a clean slate, weigh the wrongs from the right, look at it in-depthly and know that before you condemn an act, whether right or wrong, there was a cause. What is the cause? What is the root cause? You look deep, find out, and tackle the root cause before you can get solutions and resolutions. But 90% of Nigerians do not think and act in this way. And when you talk, they label you as a rebel, as a sellout, right? They label you as an unpatriotic citizen of your country. Then how do we get to where we want to get to as a nation? By changing the narrative that has already been dented on the name Nigeria. You saw the other video of a Nigerian citizen caught with another country's passport and could not defend his identity. What does it tell you? What does it depict? This is another case of what? Identity fraud. This is another case of identity theft. I don't understand if most citizens of Nigeria do not understand what these things mean, the gravity, consequences of these things. Like my Ghanaian people will always say that a good name is better than silver and gold. A good name is better than riches. If you have a good name, you have it all. And personally speaking, when most people do not like me or will not like me or align with me as a person is because I detest any form of criminality. I detest every form of lies and deceit. I am not in a rush at the end of the day to succeed. I take one day at a time, and that's what I expect every citizen cut across different worlds should learn. Take one day at a time. Take one day, do as your strength can carry. If you're tired, you rest. If leaving Nigeria is not for you, do not force yourself. Do not leave. But why should you even see that as an option? If everybody in the country leaves Nigeria, who will remain here to fight the cause of retaining, building, and upholding our country? It is not to say that people do not travel for one reason or the other, but how are you traveling? Do it right. Ghanaians over there, just like you see, are complaining and lamenting every single day of how constantly Nigerians come over there, cause mayhem in doing all sorts of criminal acts, child trafficking, kidnapping. The other day, we've got a case of a South African citizen, right, who came to Nigeria during this dirty December, and at the end of the day is unalived, and the story is not clear. The story is not adding up. How do you explain when citizens of all the countries come into your country and are unalived? How do you explain the shame? How do you explain the pain? How do you explain the humiliation, the dent on the image of the country? It will not be surprising, my dears, because even the leaders at the top have set it as a precedent, a very bad, horrible, and terrible precedent for the citizens who have such traits in them to follow. So when you talk, those, after all, our leaders are doing worse. Our leaders are doing terrible things. Our government is weak. Our government is porous. Every sector is porous. You cannot count on anyone. You cannot trust anyone. And that's why over there in different countries, down to South Africa, down to Ghana, down to Kenya, different countries. I even heard Australia has a ban on Nigerians coming in. Now the question is, why are Nigerians running from their country? We already know, because of this same course of bad leadership, bad governance, bad and terrible leaders in the country. And yes, the citizens are following the same line, towing the same line. Now, why can't an average Nigerian see these things from the path of truth? How do we get to the point where we aim to be united as one? How do we climb to that point? Now, let us know that at the end of the day, there was a point when things were not like this. When things were better, when Africa was better. Now you can also believe and agree with me that there is a root cause to this. What is the root cause? Aside the natural, embedded, bad, wicked, vile attitude in the life of most Nigerians or most Africans, particularly Nigerians, I'm holding us accountable. Aside that, aside those factors, aside those character traits.
But I just came across a video, and this video is an interview between a man, I'm trying to find out who the man is, and an interviewer. They were talking about Africa and the relation African countries have with this Western nation. And this is a quote directly from him. He said, quote, "No one is interested in Africa developing too much," end quote. He explains why these Western nations do not want Africa to develop. And he pretty much exposes how calculative they are and why they do what they do. Watch this clip, we'll come back and discuss.
But no one is interested in Africa developing too much. Because if it develops tomorrow, let's imagine Africa develops its industry like South Korea did, a country that was as poor as Mozambique 60 years ago. If tomorrow it starts making cars, if tomorrow it starts refining its oil, if tomorrow it starts doing agriculture and transforming its agricultural products, it will no longer buy our imports. And so we are not interested in that situation. We are not interested. So the will of the rich countries. We're talking about geopolitics today. Everywhere we see, there is clearly no interest in these countries developing. These less developed countries.
Please watch this video carefully. You will understand the main reasons why Western powers prevent African countries from developing properly. Before we continue, like and subscribe to this channel for more informative videos like this one. Do not forget to share this video on Facebook and WhatsApp to open the eyes of as many Africans as possible. Thank you for your support. Let's continue.
There was this idea, actually in people's minds, that you develop a country with entrepreneurs. It's an important part, but it's not the main part. An industry is needed, a heavy industry. These countries export oil, export cocoa, export raw materials, but these raw materials they export are often processed in other countries. And processing is what creates jobs.
Quand vous avez une compagnie étrangère qui s'installe, je prends toujours l'exemple du Congo Brazzaville que je connais bien.
When you have a foreign company setting up, I always take the example of Congo Brazzaville, which I know well. Congo Brazzaville, over 90%, only exports oil. This oil is produced by whom? Exploited by whom? By mostly private companies. 60% total, 30% E&I. The Italian, 90% of the company. Then you have a few companies here and there, private ones. The public Congolese oil company is unable to do drilling. It is unable to exploit all of its oil. It collects part of the money, but it is unable to exploit it. So all the knowledge on production, on reserves, all the quantities, production volumes are decided by the private company, which does not depend on the country. So that's the first thing. There is a real asymmetry of information between the state and the company.
The prices of their goods, 90% of exports, therefore oil, the price is not determined by Congo. It is determined by the financial markets. So, when there are tense geopolitical situations like now, prices go up, it benefits them.
Et l'État congolais rachète de l'essence à ces pays-là. Donc la réalité, c'est qu'il voudrait qu'il y ait une industrie qui puisse transformer.
When the price is zero, as in the COVID period, nothing comes in. Nothing comes in. So we can see that there is a very strong dependence. And then this product is exported, processed in France or elsewhere. And the Congolese state buys gasoline back from these countries. So the reality is that there should be an industry that could transform this production on the spot. And it is this one that would create jobs, refineries, distribution, etc. But to have that, what is needed? Funding is needed to finance heavy industry. It's not with €1 of microcredit that you're going to finance heavy industry. And this funding, if the banks don't want to lend it, who will lend it? It's China, but China is a country. It will lend it under certain conditions. Conditions sometimes on access to raw materials or more advantageous sharing of production for them. And so it does not allow them to be completely independent. And it must be kept in mind that rich countries have developed in a world where they created conditions that were favorable to them. The WTO, the World Trade Organization, is an organization that has favored rich countries much more than poor countries.
Pas à lever de l'argent. Quels seraient les... Ce que je vais ajouter, excuse-moi, je te coupe.
The financial system, with mostly European and American banks, the rich countries. And so rich countries raise huge funds to carry out their projects, while poor countries to carry out projects we know. That is to say, to do things we know, refineries, food, agricultural industries. We know how to do that. Well, they can't raise money. What I want to add, excuse me, I interrupt you. What I want to add is that we have often said in recent years that poor countries were not developing because of corruption. We had to find a reason. It's corruption, the informal economy. These people are corrupt. There is an informal economy. They do not respect the rules. They are corrupt. Some even went further by saying that they are a bit lazy. It has always been a bit like that. And we found the same kind of debate when there was the sovereign debt crisis in Europe, where we called the southern countries pig. They were called Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain. They were called the pig. They were said to be lazy, that they were in the informal, that they were not like the Germans and the French. This debate already existed with African countries. They don't work, they are lazy. They don't have good training, they are corrupt. Very well, that's what we said. If tomorrow I were given the reins of Congo, Brazzaville, and I was told what the formula is in the current conditions to get it out of underdevelopment and make the economy take off, it would be extremely complicated, and I would tell you that I don't have the solution. Because it's a country, in fact, that does not have control over development at all. Because it does not have access to financing, as I said. Because it does not control the main good it produces. Because it does not control the volume and the price. And so developing a country under these conditions is extremely difficult. So corruption is actually a collateral effect. The real problem is the World Trade Organization and the financial system as it was created. Would you say that there has been a stranglehold by the northern countries? I'll explain, for example. We're looking for what the exit routes are, and especially by whom. Because you may have the preconceived idea of, yes, the northern countries are going to help the southern countries again. But in fact, it is because there is a stranglehold and also an enrichment of the northern countries thanks to and by the southern countries. For example, Zambia just had extra time to pay back, but the debt was not written off or reduced, etc. There are also negotiations on the next contributions of rich countries for the upcoming 3-year period, which will soon begin and should end in December 2024. There are also many solutions put forward by the IMF, which are considered as not enough actually. Which way out do you think should be oriented towards? So it is exactly what you said. That is to say that in reality, Africa buys a lot of imports from Europe, and also mainly from France. And we buy a lot of things we need and don't produce, including oil and raw materials. So Western countries are not interested in Africa falling. Because if it goes very badly, if there is not a situation at least stable, what happens? We risk having fewer raw materials that we need, and in exchange, we risk selling them fewer things. So we have to maintain Africa in an intermediate situation, so that it is rich enough to buy our goods and stable enough for us to buy the goods we need, those we really need, energy and raw materials. But no one is interested in Africa developing too much. Because if it develops tomorrow, let's imagine Africa develops its industry like South Korea did, a country that was as poor as Mozambique 60 years ago. If tomorrow it starts making cars, if tomorrow it starts refining its oil, if tomorrow it starts doing agriculture and transforming its agricultural products, it will no longer buy our imports. And so we are not interested in that situation. We are not interested. So the will of the rich countries. We are doing geopolitics today. Everywhere, we can clearly see that there is no interest in these countries developing. These LDCs. Now, if I were in the place of Africans, it is very difficult. That is to say, for me, the first thing I would do is I would be much more aggressive in negotiation. Because if you don't have financing, then you can hold grand speeches. It's always nice. But once you get to the concrete, what is Africa today concretely? As it does not have access to financing, as it does not control the goods it produces, in volumes as in prices, it is trying today, for there to be activity, to attract as much foreign direct investment as possible, by creating free zones where very little tax is paid. saying that this is the only way we have to restart the economy, which does not allow it either to develop its industry, because the industry that would come is much more powerful and much more established than the one that would develop and would be a nascent industry. So the first thing I would do in this situation, which is an extremely complicated situation, I would seek to be much more aggressive in the production shares. That is to say, when a foreign company comes, you have to impose things on it. The Gulf countries, Qatar, the Emirates at their time, when you came to settle with them for anything, you had to give a big part, more than 50%, to a local native, a local resident of the investment. It was mandatory. The WTO did everything to knock this out, but some countries held firm, except when they really needed it. They make exceptions at the Ministry of Economy, but when they estimate that the person has to give a part, he gives a part to the natives, which trains them. You see, for example, this type of measure could be applied by some African countries. If they applied it, of course, as a whole, it would be better.
The major point I want us to go home with, this is our take home. Listen, because I believe my voice is strong enough to pass a message across. The day the voice ceases is the day my mission on earth is accomplished. But as long as I breathe, as long as this mouth is open, it will be open to say nothing but the bitter and the brutal truth. I don't care if I die in the cause. I don't care if I get betrayed. I don't care if I get dragged, misunderstood, or abused in the course of this, because this battle, this journey is a very serious one. It's a very lonely path that only the true people who understands me and understand people like us as Nigerians would come to align with us and agree with us, right? I am in the public, in the face of the world. And at the end of the day, if I do understand what it means to stand out from the crowd and stand for the truth. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's take this home, that the Western world, as a result of what they have seen in Africa, that they do not want, I repeat, they do not want Africa to unite as a result of their own selfish and wicked interest. Right from time, we know this, and that's why our forefathers, our predecessors fought so hard for liberation, for freedom. Nelson Mandela is one, may his soul rest in peace. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana is one, so many of them. Nnamdi Azikiwe and the rest of Nigerian leaders fought for this. But today, look at how the citizens, in form of bad leaders and bad citizens, have made the nation, Nigeria, the continent Africa, deteriorate so bad that at the end of the day, everybody's raising an eyebrow for each other. There is no peace, there is no trust, there is no love, there is no unity. For what exactly, guys? For what exactly? That is their tactics, that is their weapon against us as Africans. They've set confusion in our midst, and we also fuel it up at the end of the day by our actions and inactions, especially my own countrymen, Nigerians. I'm holding us accountable. And it escalates, and they will be out there laughing, jittering, and mocking at us. Yes, that is what we want. Why they are busy sucking, taking what God has given to us, taking what we are supposed to use to enrich ourselves, to build ourselves as great nations in the continent of Africa. And while we are busy fighting, killing, unaliving, doing all sorts of menace against ourselves, they are busy sapping us fast and fast. And that's why Africa is still underdeveloped as to where it's supposed to have been up till date. If you understand, you will understand. If you are wise, if you are rational, you will understand. And it's high time we begin to look deep, look within ourselves, to change this narrative, to stop this menace, and stop the number one enemies of Africa, and take over what we have, to build it, to hold it as different nations in Africa. And in summary, ladies and gentlemen, dear Nigerians, dear Africans cut across different world, I know I've got some reasonable Nigerians. You can see that they have spoken. I have amazing South Africans, Ghanaians, different citizens, Kenyans. I truly and deeply appreciate all you true citizens of different nations who are fighting so hard for the progress, the growth, the success, and the development of your nation and Africa as a continent. But I pray that at the end of the day, we will not fight an unjust cause. We will not fight and lose. We will fight and succeed. Our voices must be heard. Our voices must be raised, no matter what it costs. We will stand to defend our land. We will stand to defend our cause. We will stand to defend our country. It doesn't matter how people perceive it. As long as you are a citizen of your country, you are sure that you are doing the right thing, you're standing on the right path. Keep your heads high. Do not be threatened. Do not be frightened. Even when the stones are thrown at you, even when you are being insulted, you are being humiliated, you are being bullied, do not give up. Take those things as a weapon to thrive and succeed and do better, even in your personal life, your personal business and endeavors. And at the end of the day, the more we continue continue to speak out and stand for the truth, the better for us as citizens of different countries. So with this, we have watched. I will love you, each and every one of you who truly understand my voice, understand my mission, understand my goal, to leave me your honest thought, opinion, constructively and respectfully in the comment section. And let's have a one dialogue, conversation as matured minds, like minds who wants to see the continent Africa take over in the map of the world. Thank you, and thank you very much for watching patiently, for listening patiently to my voice. Like I said, I will always try my best to be more consistent here, come up here time to time, because there are a lot to be said. There are a lot that is going on that have not been said, and our voices must be raised. Till then, if you are yet to like this video, give it a like, share it so that more people will get to see what is happening, what is going on, what we stand for, and at the end of the day, our message and our voices will be heard. Thank you once again, and at this point I want to leave you by wishing you a successful, a productive, a beautiful and amazing day. Do not be discouraged, do not be dismayed. Let's keep spreading love, let's keep living right and standing for nothing but the brutal truth. Till I come again in my next episode, look out for that. Turn on the bell icon so that you don't get missed out, right? For now, this is me, your host for today, Life of an African Woman, signing out. Ciao ciao.